Something I wanted to share with you. I was just fascinated by it. A friend of mine, she's been on this program, in fact, a few times over the years, Veronique Raskin. She's French. Her family has a small vineyard in France. And in France, in order to make wine and call it organic, the soil has to be organic for 25 years before you begin growing the grapes. I mean, it's a much higher standard than in the United States. And Louise and I discovered the organic wine company, which is Veronique's company. It's a little company, I mean, just a couple of employees, and basically she imports wine from her family vineyard and other organic French wines, and then, you know, sells them through the mail. And we've been getting stuff from them since I discovered them when we first moved to Vermont back in 1996, I think it was, or maybe even, 1996. And because I had learned that grapes were one of the most heavily sprayed products, and particularly red wines, where, you know, they're fermented with the seeds, or with the peels, the outside of the grape. And that some wines actually had some of the highest levels of pesticides. In fact, I remember the story that got me going was an article talking about how they were looking at Skid Row bums, or what they refer to as Skid Row bums. Today we refer to this was 20 years ago. Today we refer to them as homeless people who live on Skid Row in New York, you know, in this area, literally this area called Skid Row, and the alcoholics. And what they found was, after they died, they were doing autopsies on these folks, and they were discovering that they had, you know, massive liver tumors and other conditions that they couldn't point to the alcohol as the cause of. So what was killing these people, and all in very similar ways. And it turned out that they were drinking like cheap wine, and that cheap wine had high levels of chemicals, of agricultural chemicals in it. And so I said, Louise and I like to drink wine. And so I said to Louise, we got to get some organic wine. And we just found Veronique's company on the internet. So anyhow, where I'm going with this is a week or so ago, I got my newsletter from the Organic Wine Company, and she's selling vegan wines. And you've heard me talking about, you know, being a vegan and all that kind of stuff, and which I'm a lousy vegan, but I'm working at it. And so I sent her a note. I said, you know, Veronique, what is vegan wine? I've never heard of such a thing. And she was like, well, you know, actually, a lot of wines, most wines, are filtered through egg whites. And she said, so we get wines that are only filtered through bentonite, which is, you know, crumbled up clay. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. I'd never heard, you know, who would have thought that wine would not be vegan? You know, obviously it's a raw food, and it's a vegetarian food, I guess. You know, there might be a few bugs in there. but anyhow, it's a vegan wine. I wanted to share that with you. You know, apropos of nothing in particular. Veronique is a friend. I mean, and her company is the Organic Wine Company. We've just patronized for decades, and she's just a really great person. So I wanted to let you know about that.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.